The following may not be suitable for all audiences. Viewer discretion is advised.
Maraval robbery suspect taken out in confrontation with police. Cop wounded. 5 days after a daring robbery next to a police station, police took out one of the suspects. A police officer was also injured during the reported confrontation with the suspects. Police said Nathan Paul, a 22-year-old suspect in the crime, died on Tuesday morning during an alleged confrontation with them around 9 a.m. They alleged that Paul of Tonkabeen Trace, Maraval, and others were dressed in police tactical uniforms when they robbed a KFC outlet at the NP gas station compound last Thursday night. Police said Paul was charged in 2020 with a series of weapon-related offenses, including attempted homicide, and was also a suspect in a homicide. Laborer charged with violation granted $175,000 bail. 20-year-old laborer Karen Balawas was granted $175,000 bail when he appeared in court today charged with violating a girl. The offenses allegedly took place between January 2021 and April 2021. Bolawas of Patterson Avenue, Faizabad, appeared before Superior Magistrate Aidan Strode. The matter was adjourned to May 11, 2021. The accused was ordered to not have any contact with the victim, not be in the vicinity of the victim's home village in Faizabad, to stay 100 feet away from the victim, and report to the Faizabad police station every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday of every week between the hours of 6 a.m. and 6 p.m. According to police reports, the accused was allegedly found in the victim's bedroom by her grandmother, and a report was made to the police. He was arrested on April 10th and the charge laid on April 12th. Investigations were spearheaded by W Superintendent A.G. Claire Guy Allen and ASP A.G. Roberts, and supervised by Inspector A.G. Nutt, while the charges were laid by WPC McGregor of the Child Protection Unit Southwestern Division. Family demands justice for Cedros fisherman. The family of Cedros fisherman Kern Cava Richards intends to go to the Police Complaints Authority PCA with an official complaint after his funeral later this week. Richards, 38, was taken out in a police-related incident at his home in Ikakas village last Friday. Police said officers had executed a search warrant at Richards' home when he walked to a stockroom and returned with a firearm. The officers claimed the Richards opened fire at them as he attempted to escape. The officers returned fire, hitting him multiple times about the body. However, Richards' relatives have dismissed reports that he was in possession of a firearm. His mother, Michelle Richards, said her son was taken out by officers who wanted to rob him. The mother claimed the officers found a safe containing gold and cash during the search. Richards' sister, Kelowna Richards, said her family wanted justice and called on Commissioner of Police Gary Griffith to intervene. "We have been begging Gary Griffith since this happened, but no one has contacted us. We are going to the PCA to file a report as soon as the funeral is over. We want justice for my brother," she said. An autopsy was performed yesterday at the Forensic Science Center in St. James, which confirmed Richards was shot multiple times. Relatives said Richards was asleep with his 25-year-old girlfriend when police arrived around 4:55 a.m. His ex-wife, Kimberly Sumai, who lives across the street, said Richards opened the door for the officers to execute the search warrant. "His girlfriend told me that the officers searched the house and they found a safe with the cash and jewelry. Kern walked outside and was smoking a cigarette, and the officers took him to the back of the house, and one signaled a female officer to take the girlfriend inside. Then there were gunshots. I heard the gunshots and ran over there and saw the officers picking him up from the ground, she said. Richards was pronounced dead at the Point Fortin Hospital. Do you believe this was justifiable homicide? Or do you believe the allegations of the family that the police came to rob him?
This program contains material of a disturbing nature. Viewer discretion is advised.
The family of a retired health inspector now on the verge of death claims he developed several blood clots after receiving the Oxford Astra Zeneca COVID-19 vaccine last week. The man's nephew told Crime Watch host Ian Allen that his 60-year-old uncle went to the Princestown District Health Facility last Wednesday and received the shot. On Friday morning, the man complained of belly pains and went to lie down. Like he went to get his belly rubbed, and when it was time to get up from the bed, he could not get up. From his waist down, totally paralyzed, totally gone, the nephew told Allen by phone. The nephew said his uncle did not get his belly rubbed, and before the vaccine had no pains or symptoms of any sickness. "It's real bad now," the man told Allen. The relative said doctors at the San Fernando General Hospital were trying their best, but had already told the family there was nothing more they could do for him. He said doctors told the family that the only cause they could ascertain that it may have been a reaction to the vaccine. The family is now calling on the Ministry of Health to conduct more research on the vaccine, as they said scans have since uncovered several blood clots in his body and down to his toes are now discolored. In another media report, Falil Ali said the doctors had admitted to family members that it was the vaccine that had caused the blood clots, as there was no other ailment that could be responsible. Ali said the doctor told the family his uncle might only have a few hours or days to live, depending on how his body reacts to blood thinners. He explained that because his uncle was a patient at the cardiac clinic, he got a phone call last week requesting that he go to the health facility to get his vaccine. He said although the family advised him against going, he put his faith in medicine. By Friday, he was suffering abdominal pain and partial paralysis. Relatives took him to a private medical center where a CT scan showed a blood clot blocking an artery. The doctors there advised relatives to take him to the San Fernando General Hospital for an emergency surgery. However, doctors there initially refused to admit him, saying that it could be COVID-19 and insisted that he do a test first. Even after the test, family members claimed surgeons refused to do the operation. 35 people in quarantine after being in contact with the Prime Minister. Over 35 persons in Tobago are in quarantine after Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley tested positive for COVID-19 on April 6th. This from Tobago's County Medical Officer of Health, AG Dr. Tiffany Hoyt, at this week's Tobago Health Update media briefing. All contacts during the period when the Honourable Prime Minister would have been considered infectious would have been within Tobago given the time when symptoms develop, but some of those persons would have been here in Tobago and then returned home to Trinidad, and they are under the purview of the relevant county medical officers in Trinidad, Dr. Hoyt said. So concerning the persons who are in Tobago, we would have had a total of 35 contacts here. Those persons have been tested, and the majority of the results have been received and they are negative. Some persons still have results pending, and persons continue to be followed up. Remember, the incubation period is 14 days, so although persons test negative now, we follow up to see if they develop symptoms during the incubation period. If they develop symptoms, those persons will be retested. Health, Wellness and Family Development Secretary Tracy Davidson Celestine, who was also at the press briefing, said Dr. Rowley is doing well. The Prime Minister is very well. He is in good spirits. From all indications, he is up and about and is doing well.